There is a unique kind of fear that comes with a story that has no end. It's not the shock of a sudden scare or the dread of a monster you can see. Instead, it's this slow-burning chill that settles deep in your bones. This is the feeling that comes with stories of unexplained disappearances. When a person simply vanishes, they leave behind a hole in the world. They leave behind a story without a final chapter. The not knowing is a special kind of torture for the families, and, honestly, a haunting puzzle for the rest of us. It's a reminder that sometimes there are just no answers. The world we think we know so well can have cracks, and sometimes people fall through them, never to be seen again. We are naturally drawn to these mysteries. We are creatures who crave patterns and solutions. An unsolved puzzle is an itch we just can't scratch. It pulls us in, making us wonder. In the final fading days of the 19th century, as December of 1900 cast its long, cold shadows, a remote, unforgiving speck of land off the coast of Scotland became the stage for an enduring and terrifying mystery. This was Eilean Moor, the Big Isle, a place of stark, lonely beauty and profound isolation. Its newly built lighthouse was a beacon of safety in the treacherous waters of the Outer Hebrides. Manned by 3 experienced lighthouse keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Duckett, and Donald MacArthur, seasoned men accustomed to solitude and the relentless rhythm of the sea. Their duty was simple but vital: keep the light burning for passing ships, a constant vigil against the dark. But on December 15th, the steamer, sailing from Philadelphia to Leith, noted in its log that the light was out, an unsettling anomaly. The report was passed on, but severe storms lashed the coast, making any attempt to land on the island impossible for several agonizing days. The silence from the isolated island grew more and more ominous. These keepers were known for their unwavering diligence. For the light to be extinguished meant something was very, very wrong. Finally, on the day after Christmas, December 26th, the relief vessel arrived. The relief keeper, Joseph Moore, was the first to set foot on the island. An eerie quiet greeted him. No flag flew from the pole, no one came to meet his boat. He found the lighthouse door unlocked, and inside, the first clues of a scene frozen in time. 2 of the 3 men's oilskin coats were gone, suggesting 2 had left together. In the kitchen, a meal of salted mutton and potatoes was left completely untouched. A single chair was knocked over as if someone had risen in a sudden panic. The clocks inside had all stopped, the beds were unmade, and a pair of boots were left behind. But strangest of all, the men themselves were nowhere to be found. They had vanished into the thin, salt-laced air. A search of the island revealed even more baffling evidence. On the western landing, supply boxes were strewn about. Iron railings were bent and twisted, and a crane rope was snapped, damage that would require immense force over 200 feet above sea level. The official logbook offered the final, chilling puzzle. It spoke of a terrible storm, with Marshall writing of severe winds the likes of which I have never seen. He noted Ducat was very quiet, and MacArthur was crying. Yet, weather stations on the mainland reported no such storm in the area. The last entry, dated December 15th, read, "Storm ended, sea calm, God is over all." On the evening of October 21st, 1978, a young pilot named Frederick Valentich took off for a training flight in his small Cessna over Australia's Bass Strait. He had over 150 solo hours. The sky was clear. The flight was supposed to be routine. He was flying from Melbourne to King Island. But something far from routine happened. Valentich reported a strange craft with 4 bright lights, a long shape. It moved at high speed, playing games with him, flying over his plane. The ground controllers were confused. Nothing appeared on radar. He stated, "It's not an aircraft." He described impossible movements, something not following the rules of flight. He told the tower his engine was beginning to fail. He said, "It's hovering, and it's not an aircraft." Then a strange metallic scraping sound lasted for 17 seconds. After that, only silence. Valentich and his Cessna were never seen or heard from again. A massive search found no trace. Many believe he encountered a UFO, perhaps abducted. Skeptics suggest disorientation, reflections, or a staged disappearance, but none explain his real-time descriptions or the total lack of wreckage. Then gone. The Sodder Children. Christmas Eve, 1945, in Fayetteville, West Virginia, turned into a night of unimaginable horror for the Sodder family. George and Jenny Sodder lived with 9 of their 10 children. That night, a fire broke out while the family slept. George, Jenny, and 4 children managed to escape. But 5, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, Betty, were trapped on the upper floor. The ladder was missing. George's trucks wouldn't start, though they'd worked the day before. The fire department was slow. The house was reduced to ash. The chief found no bones. He claimed the fire cremated the bodies, but experts said human bones would have survived. The Sodders suspected kidnapping and an arson cover-up. A salesman threatened them. A stranger watched their kids. Their phone lines were cut the night of the fire. A private investigator found a heart buried by the chief, tested as a beef liver, untouched by fire. George and Jenny searched for the rest of their lives, putting up a billboard, chasing every lead. In 1967, a photo arrived. A man like Lewis. Then the PI vanished. The parents died never knowing. The mystery endures. In the summer of 2014, a 28-year-old German named Lars Mittank was on vacation with friends in Golden Sands, Bulgaria. It was supposed to be a simple, celebratory trip, but a seemingly minor altercation with other tourists, reportedly over a football rivalry, left him with a ruptured eardrum. A local doctor advised him not to fly due to the pressure change and prescribed an antibiotic, cefprozil. Unable to travel, Lars watched his friends fly home, promising to catch a bus back to Germany once he was cleared. Alone, his behavior grew erratic. He checked into a cheap hotel and called his mother, whispering that 4 men were after him, that they wouldn't let him live or die. He told her to cancel his credit cards and hid in terror through the night. The next morning, he went to Varna airport, hoping to be cleared to fly. Inside the airport clinic, his paranoia peaked. When a man dressed as a construction worker entered the room, Lars screamed, "I don't want to die here," and bolted. Airport security cameras captured his desperate flight. He abandoned everything: his luggage, wallet, passport, and phone. He sprinted out of the terminal, scaled a 2.5-meter-high barbed wire fence, ran across a vast sunflower field, and disappeared into the woods beyond. Was it a brain injury from the fight? A run-in with dangerous criminals? Or a rare, severe psychotic reaction to the antibiotic cefprozil? Despite extensive searches, Lars Mittank was never found. Decades earlier, on August 6, 1930, another man walked out of his life. Joseph Force Crater, a New York Supreme Court justice with deep ties to the city's corrupt Tammany Hall political machine, stepped into a taxi on West 45th Street and vanished into thin air. He had just dined with his mistress and a lawyer friend, waving goodbye with a cheerful, "I'm just going to get a little sleep." But he never made it home. It took 10 days for anyone to even realize he was gone, and when police finally entered his apartment, it was in perfect order. The investigation revealed a hidden life. Crater had withdrawn large sums of cash and taken sensitive files from his office just before he disappeared. With multiple mistresses and connections to organized crime, theories swirled. Was it a mob hit, a flight from blackmail, or a planned escape? For decades, the case was cold. Then, in 2005, a letter written by a woman on her deathbed was discovered. It claimed her husband and his associates had murdered the judge and buried his body under the Coney Island boardwalk. But by then, the site had been redeveloped, leaving the claim forever unprovable. The misogynist man in New York became a legend, a ghost in the city's history, a man who walked out of a restaurant and into a myth that endures to this day. In 1587, over 100 English settlers, men, women, and children, led by Governor John White, reached Roanoke Island. They carried with them the dream of a permanent English foothold in the New World, a bustling colony named City of Raleigh. But when White sailed back to England for supplies, a naval war with Spain trapped him there. His planned few months away stretched into 3 agonizing years. He finally returned on his granddaughter's 3rd birthday, only to find the settlement vanished. The houses were carefully dismantled, not ransacked. There were no signs of a struggle, no graves, no bodies. Just an unnerving, silent emptiness. The only clue was a single word carved into a palisade post: Croatoan. This was the name of a nearby island and a friendly native tribe, but the colonists had agreed to carve a Maltese cross if they were in danger. There was no cross. A brewing storm prevented White from searching Croatoan Island. Did they assimilate peacefully? Were they attacked by another tribe, or lost at sea attempting to return to England? Modern archaeology finds tantalizing hints of European artifacts mixed with native settlements, but no definitive proof. The lost colony simply walked out of the pages of history. Centuries later, another pioneer faced the vast unknown. Amelia Earhart, a global icon of adventure and female empowerment, embarked on a daring quest in 1937 to circumnavigate the globe at the equator. By July 2nd, she and navigator Fred Noonan were on one of the final, most perilous legs of their journey, aiming for the minuscule speck of Howland Island in the Pacific. The Coast Guard cutter Itasca waited there, their only guide in a featureless expanse of ocean. Her radio transmissions, picked up by the Itasca, grew increasingly desperate. They were low on fuel, battling overcast skies that made celestial navigation impossible. She could hear the Itasca, but the Itasca couldn't hear her well enough to provide a radio fix. She was flying blind. Her last confirmed transmission painted a grim picture. "We are on the line 157337. We will repeat this on 6210 kilocycles. Wait, we are running on line north and south." Then, only static. The largest sea and air search in history found nothing. The official verdict is a tragic but simple one. They ran out of fuel and crashed into the Pacific. Yet theories persist of a castaway landing on Nikumaroro Atoll, or even capture by foreign powers. Her final resting place remains one of the 20th century's greatest unsolved mysteries. The stories of these 7 disappearances linger like ghosts in our collective memory. From the empty lighthouse on Eilean Moor to the silent skies over the Pacific, each case leaves us with a profound sense of unease. They are tales of ordinary people who stepped into the unknown and never returned, leaving behind only questions, echoes in the dark, and the chilling realization that sometimes there are no answers to